Strive Coaching Studio, guiding business leaders to meet the highest version of themselves. And now, here's Michelle, certified coach and founder of Strive Coaching Studio.
Hello and welcome to podcast number 18. I wanted to share this podcast with you today as a way of outlining the definition and the credibility and the value of executive coaching. I'm going to open up with a little bit of a story. My family loves golf and they love to follow golf. Now, I'm in for the ride. I enjoy playing golf. There's a lot of life lessons right there we get to learn about ourselves. Any of you who are golfers out there know what I'm talking about or have tried golf, who maybe don't define themselves as a golfer, but understand that golf can teach you a lot about yourself. But I don't typically watch the tournaments very often. In fact, typically I don't usually even know when they're happening, who's playing. I probably wouldn't recognize the majority of the players. I don't typically follow, even though it's on occasion in the house. But yesterday we watched the end of the Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass. And Justin Thomas, in all of his 29 years young, won the tournament. And it was so fun to watch and see him and then hear him talk about what his journey has been over the past few months. So apparently he's had a tough journey, and starting with the fact that his grandfather passed away. He had several big losses that occurred, and that really created him to react in ways that I don't think he was proud of as a professional golfer, not the way he wanted to show up. And he also had his good friend, Tiger Woods, who had been in the tragic car accident where he was very seriously injured. And all of it was affecting his game and his relationships in his life. He knew that his girlfriend was struggling with what he was going through, and it was really affecting everything. And it wasn't who he wanted to be. So he said that he needed to get back into a good headspace. He had trusted advisors, fortunately for him, that he called and he talked through his feelings and all that was going on with him and on the inside. And he said, listen, it was all affecting me and the others in my life. And I needed to do that in order to win. I'm not embarrassed to say it. A lot of people think they're bigger and better than needing to do that, but I know that's what I needed to get there, to get into a better headspace. What a fantastic response, and what a great example of high quality character and authentic and genuine and vulnerability and all of the things that truly make up great leaders and role models in our society. And as a society, we place very high importance and status on coaches. All the best athletes in the world have the best coaches in the world. Singers spend enormous amounts of money on voice coaches. And whether it's golf, tennis, basketball, skiing, or any Olympic sport, the coaches are the key. They're the real difference, because the best coaches are not limited to skill set and physical improvement. The best coaches know the person inside and out, and they know what they're thinking and where they need to be putting their mental focus to get in the right headspace to get there. And we all know pro athletes who are incredibly talented, but if they're not in the right headspace, they can be practically worthless in a game. And many times that's when it's the most critical, the most important moments. When you look at all the success you see around you, it all started with a great coach or a great role model or a mentor, an instructor, a leader, someone who had a desire to develop them into who they had the potential to be. And many times they don't even know what that is. They have a goal that's sitting out there, something they'd love to do, and they have no idea how to get there or what it will take to get there. And they know they need someone's help. So because I've been in both the corporate world and the entrepreneurial world for my entire adult life, most of my closest friendships have been developed from those relationships that I've made along the way. And I'm very fortunate to have many wonderfully supportive friends who would help and support me in any way they could at the drop of a hat. And what I've noticed since I've transitioned to become an executive coach is they love to chat with me about all of it. They're so interested and curious. And they've helped me a great deal in understanding their common challenges and where they see opportunities for themselves, for their teams, for the corporate world around them, it's truly so helpful for me. And I also realized that for the most part, many people are really not that clear about exactly what it is that I do or that any executive coach might do. Maybe it's a bit confusing for them, which is why they're so curious. So some have related it to me specifically, to other trainers or consultants that they've had come in along the way. Sometimes they've wondered if it's like therapy. Some think that it's someone who will hold you accountable to the things that are assigned to you or that you set for yourself as an accountability person. And this might be because there's so many forms of coaches and coaching programs and consultants out there right now, and it can be confusing. So while I don't want to speak for other companies or other coaches necessarily, I thought it might be helpful to simplify for you what you might expect from executive coaching by definition and as defined by my circle and the people around me and how I've developed my programs. So one of the things I needed to learn early on while running my own small business is that I needed to learn how to be willing to change. And this didn't come easily for me in the business world. It had been previously, I mostly spent my time previously in corporate environments that had many rules and procedures. And because we were the size of a giant cargo ship, change didn't occur often. And when it did, it took so long that it was already outdated by the time we were on the new course. So even though I appreciated the concept and valued the benefits of change, it was not modeled well around me. And therefore, I created my own patterns and habits from that experience. Now, not to mention that having a voice to encourage or ignite change was not modeled or really very welcomed for the most part, all because of all of those reasons that I just mentioned. So I'm not criticizing corporate environments in any way. I'm just stating, one, my experience of them, and two, kind of what is necessary in order to run such a huge, large, successful national organization. It just comes with that territory. But I needed to quickly realize that in my own small business, one of the biggest advantages is that we were more like a speedboat. We had the ability quickly to maneuver and pivot or avoid things, turn, speed up and slow down in just a minute's time. So I needed to learn to make changes immediately if I wanted to succeed. I needed to get good at making decisions, and I needed to get very good at being willing to implement them, owning the responsibility of whatever happens as a result as my own. And we can all say that making changes sounds easy on the surface until it's time to do it. But you know what makes you good at making decisions and implementing changes? Making decisions and implementing changes, and then doing it again, and then again, as many times as you can and need to. Yes, it can be scary at first, and it might be scary the millionth time you do it, depending on the magnitude of the change, but that doesn't mean don't do it. I started out a company with myself and one other employee, 2 people running the show. 13 years later, I sold that successful company having 54 employees. How many decisions and changes do you think I needed to make in order to get there? How many mistakes and failures did that include? Many, 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 many. And I was not even aware that there could be an opportunity for someone to actually be by my side as a coach during that time. Now, my journey was a wonderful one, and the failures and decisions I made along the way are what led me on the perfect path towards success that I had, and more importantly, the person I've become. So I have no regrets for that. But knowing now that the opportunity could have been there for me and can be there for others allows for even more opportunity, more potential, and possibly more importantly, and most importantly, the ability to do it with less stress and less overwhelm, with a lot more confidence, a lot more certainty. So what don't they do, coaches? They don't do the work for them. They don't dump their knowledge into them and then walk away and tell them good luck. They work together with them, personalized to that person's style, technique, skill set, experience level, and personality. They meet them where they are and help them get where they want to go. And while there are foundational lessons we all must learn, a coach never takes the professional athlete back to day one of the basics. They need to advance and strengthen and build muscles and talents that they didn't even know they had. I can't tell you how many times I needed to make a decision about what to do next and get to the next place. And I looked backwards at what I did before to get where I was at that time. And I quickly learned that the old way will never work to get where I want to go next. There are lessons in that journey and there is value in that experience, yes. But the way to get to the next place will never be from backtracking the way you came. You're going to need to create and map out and prepare and be willing to take the next path. So an executive coach is like having a GPS system that you have with you along for the ride. Since looking back at how we arrived here will not be the same roads to take us to new places and new adventures and new experiences, you need a new map and a new course. We can appreciate how far we've come and that we've overcome so many things to get here. There is tremendous value in that. And at the exact same time, we can look at the now and look ahead. That means looking forward, not backwards. And sometimes it's hard to see that. And because we can't see how, our brains want to look for the way we did it before. Creating the new map and then helping you to anticipate and manage all of the hurdles, all the twists and turns that will happen along the way is our job. With the GPS system, it's by your side to help you see the path better for yourself. We wouldn't even dream of starting a big road trip without our GPS these days. Many of us wouldn't dream of going to a new place across town without a GPS. I have some friends who can't literally get out of their driveway without it. So even in the old days, we wouldn't plan a long road trip without a well-planned map. This is no different. And you're always 100% in charge. You're always 100% accountable only to you. Like driving, you pick the destination, you choose the vehicle, you have the wheel, and you have the gas and the brake pedals under your control. We just help you with the navigation. You choose which turns and stops you deliberately want to choose to make, and that's where the value really is. And this leads us to what the credibility of an executive coach includes. Because having said all of that, choosing the right executive coach for you is just as important as choosing the right athletic voice or any other kind of coach. We have wisdom we can impart, experiences of our own, and skills we've developed over our years. We have a great deal we can contribute to your world, and you decide what experiences and skill set background will serve you best. The value of executive coaching is just like any other coaching. We help you see your play, your court, your competitors, your actions, and your results from the perspective we have watching from the bench or the sidelines or the audience. And then we can share what we're able to see that you can't possibly see from your vantage point, all to help you make the best next decision and strategy when you get out there next. We work with you on what is limiting you, your beliefs, and what's shaking you up or keeping you from being at your peak performance levels. We're on your side, and our sole purpose is to help you see yourself and your mind and make the best decisions you can toward your desired path in your future. Imagine all that's possible for you and all that you'd be capable of for yourself on that ride if we're right by your side. And when you take home the win, you will have earned it 100% your way on your own with a great support system that will help you get wherever you want to go next. And here at Strive Coaching Studio, we work together with business leaders and owners. Our clients include a variety of desired results. Some are looking to grow their companies or delegate more so they can enjoy more work-life balance. They may need more help working on their businesses strategically, rather than allowing their time to be sucked into working in their businesses all the time. We help leaders become more confident in their leadership and how they manage their companies and their teams from that confident place for greater results for everyone. And with that, we often dive into all of the problems and challenges that result from the initial issues that are not being addressed. Many times relationships are suffering, being able to be present with their personal lives. Some people cope through their stress with drinking, eating, never getting to the gym anymore, gambling, over shopping, or any other coping escape from the stress that takes away from your biggest dreams and goals ultimately. Some people have health effects from the stress of their responsibilities. We help with all of that and help fixing that at the root of the issue to allow for long-term success, not just short-term band-aids or pills. So we can help. We know because we've been in challenging situations ourselves before and learned the skills to overcome them. You are a human just like everyone else. All of us are. Your mind is working exactly as it's designed to do. You're not any different than anyone else who's struggling to figure it all out and make sense of it, but you can definitely accomplish it. You can definitely live in a potential that you haven't allowed yourself to see yet. We can help show you that. Whether it's for a goal in business or more peace and health for yourself, we're here for you for that. Executive coaching is your GPS system, one that can bring credible experiences and wisdom into your world and offers you the value of seeing things from the perspectives that you cannot possibly see from your point of view. My hope is that this new understanding helps you gain the perspective of how this could impact your own life. And only you can decide. How much is that worth to you? And what are the results that would be worth to you that you would want to see? And most importantly, why have you not invested in yourself, in your career, in your true core health, and your peace, and your future already by now? I ask you that question because it is one I asked myself as well after the fact. And if I had it to do over, I wouldn't even question it. Now that I have had some amazing coaches who've helped me, I wouldn't have it any other way. My investment in my future path is the most worthwhile investment I will ever make in myself. So I hope to see you very soon.
Check out our show notes in the podcast section on strivecoachingstudio.com to read these valuable tips. And thank you for listening.